I love you, bitch. Oh my God. I ain't gonna never stop loving you, bitch.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. First, elephant in the room, I'm using a new lens. It's not a new lens, it's just a different lens. Hodor, our sweet prince, knocked my camera off of the tripod and broke the one that I usually film with. So we're rocking a 35mm right now, so I feel like I look very close to the camera, and I'm really sorry if I'm like out of focus at all. And I'm really sorry if I'm like out of focus at all throughout this, because like I normally use this for photography, so yeah, it's a whole thing, but we're working with it, hoping to be able to get another filming lens here pretty soon. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We're figuring it out. Anyways, today's video is a very unplanned video. It was one that I had been thinking about making ever since this whole situation kind of came onto my radar. But I just didn't want to know, I just didn't know if I wanted to feed into the whole situation at all. But today we're talking about someone that I never thought I would talk about on my channel, and that is Nikocado Avocado. The reason I'm deciding to talk about this person on my channel now is because he's bringing disabilities and people with disabilities, disabled people, into his trolling and his content, and that is something that I do not jive with at all, and I wanted to spew about because I'm mad. I'm very frustrated. This is my second time filming this video because first one was like super out of focus, and secondly, I got really ranty and ravey and emotional, and I felt like it wasn't conveying my message across very well, so I'm going to try and hold it in as best as I can at the moment. If you don't know who Nikocado Avocado is, he is arguably one of YouTube's largest trolls, which is why I feel like everything he's doing right now can be taken with a grain of salt, and probably should be, but I think there's a greater problem with what he's doing, which is why I'm talking about it. He's posted mukbang after mukbang after mukbang of like just junk food and fast food and whatever, which like, to each their own. If that's what you want to eat, go for it. He started off YouTube as a vegan, looking like this, and now as his career has progressed, he looks like this. When he hit 300 pounds, he celebrated it and was proud of himself, and that is something that you should put a pin in as well. As someone who has been in a poor mental space regarding food and just life in general in her life before, in my opinion, Nikocado has some mental health issues, and I do think that the trolling is only over-exaggerative to a point. And if you're new here, I have lost 100 pounds. I had weight loss surgery 3 years ago. I've kept the weight off. Go team. For the most part, go team. Yeah, and I used to be 315 pounds. So I'm not going to include any clips of him here because, one, I did not want to scrub his content because it's a sad place and it's gross. And two, there's plenty of other videos chronicling his career on YouTube as it is. So yeah, if you're that curious, just go search his name into YouTube and you will find plenty of things. Why I'm making this video is because, like I said, he is now bringing disability and disabled people into the conversation. According to Nikocado, he has broken 3 ribs as a result of his weight. He now needs a CPAP machine, it looks like. I don't know if he needs it all the time or if he just needs it when he sleeps. I'm not sure. Honestly, I did not watch his videos. I watched other videos talking and reacting to his videos, or talking about and reacting to his videos, because I didn't want to give him the views because I think what he's doing is disgusting. He's now making videos about his life as a disabled person with thumbnails like these. All the videos he makes about his life as a disabled person, talking about how he needs a caretaker now and whatever, are all done while eating copious amounts of junk food. The first video he made about his diagnosis was him showing his x-rays over 2 ginormous pizzas and eating the ginormous pizzas. So that's where we're at right now. I have two main issues with the narrative he's creating now. One of them is a little bit not as important to me as the other one, but I'm going to talk about that one first. The one that's not as important to me. First of all, let me say that I always do my best, and I never really do question people who say they are disabled. Whether you can see it like physically or not, if someone tells me they have something going on with their body, I do not question it because I know what that feels like. And so I don't want to make anybody feel how that feels. And like I said, I usually do a very good job of that. But that being said, if Nikocado's condition is real, he 100% brought this on himself. And he got himself into this situation. He ate himself to this situation, and he celebrated every single minute of it. And he knows that he's acknowledged that he does this for views. But now he's basically like dying for views, and I think that's really sad. I do want to put that out there, that I think it's very, very sad. And he's also blaming the audience and creating merch surrounding it being the audience's fault, that he's now a disabled person. And I know that this is all probably one big troll, which is why I'm trying not to like focus on it too much. But yeah, that is also something he's doing right now. Do I think he should be deplatformed for this? No. And I think that's a whole different conversation for a different time. But no, I don't think he should be deplatformed for it. And like I said, he celebrated getting to 300 pounds when he got there, which for me, it was a huge wake-up call, but everybody's wake-up call is different. And now he's talking about being a disabled person while eating just a shit ton of fast food. Just furthering the problem. All that to say, first issue with this is he's milking this, but in reality, he got himself here. He made his bed. He has to lie in it. Pun not intended, but we're just going to go with it. My main issue with this revolves around something that I've never talked about on my channel before. This is the meat and potatoes of why I chose to make this video. And it's because I think he is making an absolute mockery of what it is to be an actual disabled person. Disabled people typically do not talk about their disability. And if they do, good for them. But typically, from my experience, they don't talk about it a whole lot. They don't broadcast it to millions of people on the internet. Unless they're like trying to create solidarity, which is respectable. But that's not what he's doing, so we're not going to treat him like that. And also, I was talking to my bbys on my Discord, which if you're not in my Discord, go over there. It's a really great place. And somebody brought up that this isn't a disability. It's an injury that has left him temporarily disabled. And I was like, yes, that is my problem. Thank you for bringing that up. I did not know how to put my thoughts into words, and that was it. The main reason why this hits me so hard is for a reason that I've never talked about on my channel before, but I've talked to my mother and she told me that I could talk about it and that she was actually really excited that I was going to talk about it. And so yeah, my mom's disabled. She has 2 traumatic brain injuries as a result of 2 separate car accidents, neither of which were her fault. She was the passenger in one and rear-ended in the second one. So literally not her fault. The first one definitely changed her the most out of the 2. The second one just made everything a lot worse. After the first one, she had to leave her career as a preschool teacher because she physically could not do it anymore. She had to go on disability. She couldn't drive again for a very long time, which now she can. Go mom, good job. She's been in just so many different kinds of therapies since then. She's had to go on a plethora of medications that she does not want to be on. Not to mention the changes she's experienced in her personality and psychologically and all of that kind of stuff as a result of 1, the brain injury, but 2, all these massive life changes that she had to go through. Like I said, the second one just kind of magnified the issues that she experiences after the first one, but it did change her personality even more, and I've told her that, so I think I have notes, so, and I'm trying like not to get emotional. I think I was around 19 to 20 years old when the first one happened, and I was like 22, 23 when the second one happened, so I very much had to see her change and go through all of these things, and as a kid, that's really hard to do. Seeing her life have to change so drastically was awful. She loved her job. She took so much pride in her job. She was fucking good at her job. She was great at her job. She had parents telling her that they wanted her to be their kid's preschool teacher. Like, it was to that point, and she was finally in her dream job, and then all this happened, and she had to quit. So seeing how all of this drastically affected her life and her as a person was extremely hard for me to see growing up, and gave me my own psychological traumas that I have had to work through in therapy. And it's arguably one of the hardest things I've ever had to witness in my life, was seeing her change the way that she has. Our mother-daughter dynamic has also changed, but I don't care, because I'm just so grateful that she's still here. The first one, she was incredibly lucky to make it, that the circumstances were that she made it. So I'm really happy she's here. And she's the strongest person I know. Yeah, I love my mom. My parents are my best friends, and seeing one of them go through something like this was extremely difficult. But I will say she is kind of more on the able-bodied side of being disabled. So that is one good thing that we can be very grateful for out of this entire situation. My mom will never go back to normal. Whatever normal means. She'll never go back to how she was before the accidents. And while that's something that's been really hard for me to grasp, I can't even imagine how hard it has been for her to grasp. And it probably has been harder than she's ever let on, to me, for my sake. But it has been a very hard thing for me to come to terms with as her daughter. On the same side of this spectrum, I have a chronic illness. I have chronic fatigue syndrome. I made a whole video about it. Chronic means it will never go away. I got diagnosed with it when I was 16. My life will never go back to the way it was before then. I've had to make a lot of incredible sacrifices, and I still do to this day, and it still has taken many, many days away from me because I'm not able to leave my bed some days. Do I consider myself a disabled person? No, but can this be considered a disability for a lot of people? Absolutely. Like I said, I'm more on the able-bodied side of things, like my mom kind of is, but I'm more so than my mom is. It's still like the secondary reason why what Nikocado is doing, it just makes my blood boil. It makes me so fucking mad. Nikocado clearly has an injury. He has shown x-rays, if those are real. He's like the ultimate boy who cried wolf, so like who knows at this point. But it's one that will heal in time. And whatever he's using a CPAP for, it might not go away. And like his ribs might not heal to how they were before, but the disability will go away. Whatever he's using a CPAP for might not go away. But either way, he's gotten himself in this situation. He did not choose to be here. My mom did not choose to be in 2 car accidents that were not her fault. I did not choose to get my chronic illness. And while it might sound that I'm bitter right now, I'm not, because it's something that me and my mom both have worked through on our own. But just seeing things like this really brings up anger in me that I can't really describe. And I'm trying my best to describe right now. He brought this injury on by treating his body like absolute garbage and celebrating it every single step of the way. I know Nikocado has clickbaited DV before, and mental illness, and I don't think I was on YouTube doing videos when this happened, so I never spoke on it, and quite frankly, I didn't think it was my place to speak on it, especially the DV part of things. But the fact that this boy has the audacity to clickbait disability and label himself a disabled person when he has an injury that will heal, that he brought upon himself, is absolutely abhorrent and inexcusable, in my opinion. He's furthering the stigma for actual disabled people, and that's not something that any of us/them need, especially invisibly disabled people. My mom's disability is invisible. Nikocado's is invisible because it's his ribs. My chronic illness is invisible. And I've seen my mom have her disability questioned so many times by people in her life, by medical professionals, by just people who should not be questioning it. And I've seen the toll it takes on her, and to have a creator with millions of subscribers over multiple different channels and platforms, furthering this stigma and making an absolute mockery of disability and disabled people. It's more than I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's just so, it pisses me off so much. It's so fucked up. I just wanted to make this video to tell you guys about my mom's story, and because Nikocado is, I guess, kind of in the weight sphere of YouTube. I don't know. I felt like I could make a video on it and it would kind of fit my content. But I also wanted to make it to say that anybody who watches me that is disabled, that I'm so sorry that he's doing this, because I can't, it makes me so mad that I can't even imagine how mad it must make you. And so I just wanted to speak out for you on my tiny little channel, and tell you that I love you. And yeah, so that's all I have to say for this video. I'm sorry, it was really negative, but I'm mad, and I just wanted to rant about it for a while because I figured you guys would maybe agree, maybe disagree. I don't know. Have a conversation in the comments. I want to know what you're thinking about it. And yeah, usually I don't try and feed into his trolling, but call me a fool. I don't care, because I think there's a greater problem with this one. So yeah, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for listening to my story and my mom's story and me talking and all that. Be kind to yourself, drink your water, take your meds, all that good stuff. All my links will be down below, and I will see you in the next, hopefully more lighthearted video. Okay, I love you all so much. Bye.